Aloha! Welcome to Unity Church of Maui's Sunday service. Have you ever thought that you were bad? That you were less than or not good enough? Maybe you were told that you were too much. Have you ever been told that you were screwing up by someone you loved or someone that you loved and admired? You know, many of us heard these things as a child. And we may even have internalized them, and many of us believe that these things were true and let these error beliefs define who we are. In today's talk titled Original Goodness, Not Original Sin, we will explore the origins of this belief and dismantle it so that we can be free of this belief and live as full and powerful expressions of God.
I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
When I was teaching second grade, we were discussing and winding down really a discussion on the importance of curiosity. And I asked the class, where would we be today if no one had ever been curious? And one of the students' hands shot up and the student shouted, "In the Garden of Eden!" I love that. That's pretty powerful if you think about it, that where would we be if we weren't curious? We might still be in the Garden of Eden. You know, my mom died of a stroke when I was 8, and my dad had another family move in with us. There were John and Mary and their son Mike. And Mike was my age. He was 8 years old like me, and he and I connected instantly, and we were friends right away. And one day, we were running through the sprinklers, and after we did that, we came in the house and we took our separate baths. And as we got out of our baths, we met in the hallway, totally naked, in all of our glory. And being a couple of 8-year-old boys, we just thought that was the funniest thing that you could ever possibly think about. And so we laughed and we danced all through the house. And Mike's dad caught us dancing and told us that we were being bad and that we were being nasty. And he spanked both of us. This talk is titled Original Goodness, Not Original Sin. In Richard Rohr's book, The Universal Christ, he has a chapter titled Original Goodness, Not Original Sin, and that chapter inspired this talk. So what messages did you get growing up from those that told you that there was something wrong with you? Think about that. Was there anything that you grew up with thinking that might have led you to believe that you weren't an original blessing, that you were flawed in some way, that you weren't beautiful enough, or that you weren't smart enough, or that you weren't competent in some way? This message can be traumatizing for a child. You know, a child doesn't know what to do with this information. Many children internalize this information, and it can even impact us as adults if we still operate from these erroneous beliefs. If we grow up holding these beliefs, they can actually dampen our ability to live fulfilling lives. Believing that we are damaged in some way can keep us from being creative and can destroy our ability to find joy in many of the different aspects of life. I believe that we are born with original goodness, not original sin. I am a perfect expression of original goodness, and I am bringing joyful creativity to everything I do. That's our affirmation for today. So, in order to talk about original goodness, let's look at original goodness through the lens of what appears to be original sin, which is to be bad. Many people have held on to this core belief that we're bad. And we might spend a lot of our time and energy trying not to look bad, trying to dress nice, trying to be nice, trying to say the right thing. And for many of us, we have this voice in the back of our head constantly monitoring what we're doing because we want to appear like we're good. When we look at this a little deeper, on a psychological or an emotional level, we can see that many of us have carried the scars of feeling bad around us for most of our lives. So today I want to talk about how can we let go of these beliefs that we have, that we're bad, that we're dysfunctional or damaged, and sometimes just reflecting on the possibility that we are bad creates some sadness. I can look back in my life and consider the fact that I've been called bad or seen myself as flawed in some ways, and I can get a sense for the sadness that I experienced. As students of truth, when faced with the question, do you believe that you're bad? We can know on the surface and say, of course, no, I'm good. I'm created in the image and the likeness of God. We can know this on a spiritual level, but there can still be a deeper part of us, a small part of us that believes that there's something wrong, that there's something broken, that we're less than. And so today we're going to look at healing this sense, this little voice that we're broken, so that we can experience the fullness of God, the fullness of Spirit, and the fullness of the way that the universe wants to experience life through us. So can you remember a time when someone told you that you were broken? A time when you believed it? Now you have to be truthful and think about it. Was there something that was said? Maybe you might remember some things like that, and they may have rolled off of your back. But if you believed it, it may have had an impact on you that has impacted your life. So what we can hope to do today is to get through these challenging ideas and to find that place where we connect with the universal goodness that is the truth of who we are. Now, I have to say that looking back at my life, I can't remember any other time being spanked other than when Mike's dad spanked me. And I have to say I was shocked when that happened, and I felt violated, but somehow, I knew that I didn't do anything wrong. And as a result, when I got spanked, I didn't cry. My parents didn't raise me to have shame around my body. I don't know where I got that message from, but when I was being spanked, I believed that I wasn't being spanked really for my own transgressions, but in a sense for Mike's dad's misdeeds. In this instance, I didn't think that I had done anything wrong, and I didn't take on the belief that I was bad. Getting spanked by Mike's dad didn't hurt me because I have a lot of spiritual strength and understanding in that area. However, I have memories of being told that I would never be able to sing, that I wasn't very coordinated and would never be successful at sports. I was told that I was ugly. I was told that I was too skinny. I was told that I wasn't smart. I've been told as a minister that I'm not a good speaker or a good minister. And all of these ideas and opinions and somebody else's beliefs have allowed me to rise above the belief that I'm damaged in some way. And to be able to correct my course by remembering the truth of who I am. To remember knowing that these things aren't true. And to Mike's dad, I could say, no, I'm not bad. You know what? I didn't do anything wrong. I am fabulous. In this case, I was able to let Mike's dad's erroneous statements and actions slip off my back. However, the beliefs that that have come up for me about being not be able to sing, or being uncoordinated, or ugly, or skinny, or not smart, or not a good speaker, or not a good minister, have given me opportunities to have spiritual healing. You know, I still may have some of these thoughts that remind me of these old beliefs, but these have really been opportunities for me to connect with the wholeness and the truth that I am, to be in my spiritual essence. When people believe that they are good, they rise up and they act in a better way, even better sometimes than they think that they can. There is so much power manifested when we know that we are inherently good. This is so much a part of the basic unity teachings, and why I love these teachings so much. I am a perfect expression of original goodness, and I bring joyful creativity to everything I do. Much of our belief that we are bad comes from Christian roots. Did you know that Christianity is the only major religion that teaches that we are born in original sin? The creation story of Adam and Eve is an intimate story about a man and a woman. It is also where we begin to learn about shame, unworthiness, sinfulness, and fear. In the creation story, God created Adam and Eve, or he created Adam, and then he created Eve to be Adam's companion. And they were naked. And the scripture says, and they were not ashamed. Well, I love that. It's like they were naked and they felt no shame. That was probably the last time in human history that there was no shame, right? Then Eve was hanging out, admiring the tree of knowledge, when the serpent told Eve that she wouldn't die if she ate the forbidden fruit. In fact, instead, she would become wise. So she took the fruit and she ate it, and then she offered the fruit to Adam. And instantly, their eyes were opened. They became wise, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together to make themselves clothes. So from an evolutionary standpoint, when you are a child, you have no sense of shame. You have no sense of shame really until you're shamed. And then from that point on, you feel shame. You know, a small child has no sense of judgment. They play with their food, they play with their body, they play with what comes out of their body. They play with it all, right? They have no sense of right or wrong or shame about it until they are shamed for it. Adam and Eve hear God approaching in the garden, and they hide from him. And God says, hello, where are you? And Adam says, we are over here hiding from you because we're naked. And God says, who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree from which I told you not to eat? And Adam says, the woman gave it to me. She gave me the fruit of the tree and I ate it. And Adam throws Eve under the bus and blames her for his transgressions. And then Eve says, the serpent mesmerized me and I ate it. So Eve throws the serpent under the bus and blames the serpent for her behavior. Adam throws Eve under the bus, and Eve throws the serpent under the bus. Basically, the devil made me do it, right? Something interesting is happening here. It's not a bad thing to have wisdom. The wisdom that the tree of knowledge gave Adam and Eve, is important. We need to have wisdom, but wisdom needs to be balanced with heart and with spirit. And, with the power of wisdom, we have the ability to judge wisely. When Adam and Eve felt shame in being naked, they hid from God out of that shame. They lied. And we can do the same thing when we are separate from God. We can judge unwisely. We can be separated from our good and separated from our power. God told Adam and Eve that he would punish all humankind as a result of their transgressions. God said, the first thing I will do is to increase the pain when a woman gives birth to a child. Giving birth represents bringing forth something new. To bring something new, it means to be creative, to do something that appears to come from nowhere. And this is really an opportunity to realize that all creativity is an expression of God. Everything that we do creatively will be more difficult unless we call forth the presence of God in this creative process. I know that this is true. It's something that I practice myself. And I know that if I pray and meditate before I write a talk, it's a lot easier to write a talk. I know that if I have to have a difficult conversation with somebody and I take a moment or two to pray and meditate beforehand, it's like I'm connected to the truth that I am, and the difficult conversation is a lot easier. So the creative process is always more effortlessly if we connect to and bring forth the presence of God. And God said to Adam, and you will make your way off the sweat of your brow. When we believe that we are flawed, when we believe that we're inadequate, or we believe that we're broken, or we believe that we're not good enough, or that we're too much, everything becomes challenging. All of these beliefs get in the way and prohibit us from operating at our highest level. When these beliefs get in the way, we lose our joy of accomplishing something. We lose that connection with the truth of who we are. And when we can come back to original goodness, the original goodness that we were created to express, right? When we come back to our spiritual nature, when we come back to the idea that we were created in the image and likeness of God, then we live in grace. We become more powerful because the presence and power of God is moving in and through and as us. See, when we believe we're bad, life becomes painful and difficult over and over again. But when we come back to ourselves, when we awaken to the truth of who we are, then we begin to experience life as grace, as the overflowing goodness of God, fulfilling our life, blessing us, leading us, guiding us, healing us, moving us forward. I am a perfect expression of original goodness. And I bring joyful creativity to everything I do. So today, if you're holding on to your brokenness, I want you to let go. To let go of what you're holding on to and have that sense and truth of who you are. And you will be triumphant in everything that you try and do and accomplish. So I invite you to stand in your power. You are an original blessing. And as you stand in your power, you realize that you are an original blessing, and you will bless those, all life and yourself and everything you think, say, and do. And so it is. I want to read this poem by Mary Oliver titled Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are hearing and heading home again. Wherever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. I am a perfect expression of original goodness, and I bring joyful creativity to everything I do. Say that with me. I am a perfect expression of original goodness, and I bring joyful creativity to everything I do. And I invite you to join with me in meditation. And let's close our eyes, become centered in this moment, giving thanks for this opportunity to rest in this moment as perfect, blessed expressions of spirit. Breathing in, breathing out. And as you rest in the perfection of what you are, I invite you to notice if there's any doubt that's left. If there's any erroneous beliefs that you have about yourself that you haven't released. And maybe to imagine that you can hold them like a small child and bless them. And to know that at some point in your life, this belief served you. It was a protection, it was a comfort, it was a rationalization. But now its time is through. So I invite you to take this erroneous belief, this idea of being broken, this false premise, this false belief, and imagine that you can set it aside. Gently watching it disappear and dissipate into the allness of spirit. And behold that you are free, that you are loved, that you are complete and whole, that you are wise and powerful. And breathe into that with a deep breath in and a breath out. And then let's relax together for a few moments in the peace of the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. Thank you, loving Spirit, for the truth that is healing us now as we embrace the allness of Spirit present in every cell and every space, every tissue, every thought, every feeling, in harmony with life, with love, with peace, and with truth. Breathing in and breathing out, I invite you to bring your awareness back to this moment, to open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you for being here today. It's certainly a pleasure to serve you in this video way. I truly hope that you were impacted by the truth today. And I invite you now to prepare your tithes and your love offerings and your gifts to Unity Church of Maui. And in doing so, to see the preparation of your gift as a way of committing yourself to your higher self that is expressing through you in perfect ways. And so I invite you to hold your gift or to hold it in your mind, that which you are going to give to us today. And as you hold your gifts, let's affirm and pray together our love offering, which is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you, God. All right, I just have a couple announcements today. Let's see. Well, first of all, I'll tell you about my talk next week. Is going to be kind of fun. It's how to make the best speech you will ever regret. Ambrose Bierce wrote, "Speak when you are angry, and you will make the best speech you will ever regret." So next week we're going to talk about anger and how we can transform this anger and be transformed by it, and to find ways to use it in productive ways. So that'll be next week, right here, same time, same channel. And also, we have a van capital campaign going on right now, and we were blessed this week to get $1,000. I hope I'm quoting the right amount. We now have $3,125. So thank you to everyone who is contributing to our van. And I would like to encourage you to give at whatever level is comfortable for you, whether that's $5 or $10 or $25. We know every little bit helps. $1 million. And as Joyce Myers used to say, maybe she still does, 1 million has 6 zeros, in case anybody is counting. So it's our hope that after we get our vaccines and our population, our congregation is doing well, that we'll be back in our really beautiful High Street location. And can't wait for that. I talked to Kurt Lee just the day before yesterday, and he's holding that, and he can't wait to get back. In fact, he said he might go there by himself sometime and play, just to kind of warm up his guitar and enjoy being in that space. So God bless Kurt and Ken and all they bring to us. So you can donate by going to our website, www.unityonmaui.org, and donating there, or you can send a check to Unity Church of Maui at 483 South High Street in Wailuku, Hawaii, and the zip code is 96793. And thank you in advance for your gifts. So I think that is about it today. Oh, if you're looking for more things like this, we have many videos on our YouTube page, music as well as talks like this. And if you'd like to join us live, you can do so in our Sunday Zoom meetings at 10 o'clock Hawaii time. And those links are in our newsletter and on our webpage. So thank you for being here today. I think that is it. Okay, so why don't we end our time together by praying together the prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Thank you for being here, dear friend. I love you, I bless you, I appreciate you, and I behold the Christ in you. Aloha.
Where I live, they're all raised.